Yep, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy another awesome video by Capt Frank Lanier. Please subscribe, like, and share with all your friends and all the people you hate too. Hi, I'm Capt Frank Lanier, a retired Coast Guard officer and SAMS Accredited Marine Surveyor with over 40 years of experience in the maritime and diving industry. I've amassed literally thousands of photos of all the bad things I've found on boats during my career as a Marine Surveyor. So what we're going to do today is take a look at some of my favorites. We're going to take a look at each picture. We're going to discuss why they're evil, and we're going to discuss what you need to do to correct them. So hop in, buckle up, keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times as we take a carnival-like ride tour through the cavalcade of owner-induced perversions that I like to call Captain Frank's Sea Chest of Horror. Sea Chest of Horror. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a water heater. Remember, it's not a hot water heater because if the water was hot, it wouldn't need to be heated, right? So we're looking at the the overpressure relief valve that is plumbed to a through-hole fitting above the waterline on this vessel. ABYC standards call for the water heater relief valve to be plumbed in either into the bilge or in this case overboard for the protection of personnel and equipment around the water heater. In the event this thing pops open and sprays scalding hot water around in the vicinity of the pressure valve. It also protects the water heater case from corrosion should a minor valve leak occur. So per ABYC standards, you can plumb this thing either directly overboard, which is what we got here, or you can plumb it into the bilge. But if it's plumbed into the bilge, the vessel has to have a high water bilge alarm installed. And the reason behind this is because if you're connected to city water or dock water and this valve pops open, and it could flood the boat, if you don't have have it plumbed overboard. And if it's running into the bilge, it could fill the boat up. That's why they want you to have a high water bilge alarm. Ideally, one that's loud enough to be heard by passersby or marina personnel if the boat is unattended. And this, of course, highlights the reason that you should never leave your boat unattended while you're connected to the dock water and the dock water is turned on. So back to the picture. There's a couple of things I don't like about this installation. One, the hose that he's used to plumb the overpressure relief valve to the through-hole fitting is just plain old heater hose. What should be used is a marine grade hose suitable for use on a through-hole fitting. And the second thing that's not good about this installation is that if you'll take a look, you'll notice that the through-hole fitting, which is probably about 5 or 6 inches above the waterline, it is higher than the overpressure relief valve that it's plumbed to. What that means is water that enters that through hole, which it's going to do as the boat's rocking or underway, that water's going to fill up that hose, and then it's going to be resting on the overpressure relief valve itself. So, and that hose was full of water. It's full of salt water. So that's going to promote corrosion and early failure of this overpressure relief valve. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a LPG system, LPG gas system for a stove aboard a mid-sized sailboat. And the owner has used 2 sections of hose here, and he's joined it with a fitting, and he's using hose clamps. Per ABYC standards and recommendations, ABYC, of course, being American Boat and Yacht Council, they require that the flexible LPG hoses be equipped with permanently attached end fittings, such as a suede sleeve or a sleeve and a threaded insert. So the rule is no hose clamp fittings on your propane system for obvious reasons. It could leak and cause an explosion or whatever. So here we're looking at an engine compartment on a mid-sized powerboat. You would think, just looking at this, that the boat's it's sunk or it's in the water and it's slipped and sunk. But that's not the case. This boat is actually resting on a road trailer in a broker's storage yard or storage lot. And what happened is they forgot to take the drain plug out of the boat, and over a course of probably 7 or 8 months, this thing slowly filled up with rainwater. It had bilge pumps with automatic float switches on that they were tied to the batteries. However, the batteries eventually died and the bilge pump stopped working. and then the boat just slowly filled up with water until it eventually covered the engine. Now you would look at this and say, man, you know what, this is pretty bad. How could it get any worse? Well, I'll show you how it could get worse. This is a boat that was in a similar situation in that it was on a lift and the drain plug was not removed and the owner failed to check it regularly. So what happened is the boat, again, rainwater filled up the boat. But this time it was over the winter and it froze. So you can see the engines are not only, surrounded by water, now they're surrounded by ice and they're froze. So this is how it could get worse. So the moral of the story is, one, remove your drain plugs when you've got the boat stored out of the water, but even more importantly, check it occasionally to make sure everything's okay. Okay, so we're going to put you in the surveyor's shoes here, and you've just stepped down into this compartment here, and this is what you see. Everything, you're looking at it, man, not too bad, everything looks okay, but, I can tell you there are a number of horrors, a plethora of horrors, if you get my Three Amigos reference there. Best scene in the whole movie, by the way. So let's take a look and go through the things that are wrong in this photo. First up, let's look at the battery installation. It's strapped in place, so it's secured, and it's in a tray. That's fine. But if you look at the positive terminal, it is not covered with a non-conductive material. If it was in a battery box, the battery box would serve the purpose of preventing accidental shorting of that. But there's no battery box and no battery box lid, so you've got an exposed positive terminal there. And if you look in the middle of the battery, well, there's a chisel, right? A metal chisel there. Well, let's play the doomsday scenario. What if this chisel slid over and it connected the positive and negative terminal? Then you've got a lot of arcing and sparking going on. And if you look to the right of that, you've got a portable gasoline can full of gas. So arcing, sparking, hot metal slag flying around. You get the idea, right? The potential for an explosion. So just to summarize so far, the positive terminal on the battery should be covered. The chisel should be removed to prevent accidental shorting. The fuel can should be removed and stowed up topside in a proper area. Let's take another look. What else we got going on here? Above the battery, you've got a fuel line that's going to a filter. I think that's going to a generator there. So you've got the positive conductor for the battery wire tied to this gray fuel line. That's another no-no, right? Can't have electricity and stuff wire tied to the fuel line. And if you look to the left of that, you'll see you've got the negative conductor for the battery. It comes up and then it's cocooned in a wad of electrical tape. So it's a black wire coming up. But miraculously, or horrifically, more appropriate, when it comes out of that cocoon of electrical tape, it's now a red wire. So you can see the problem here. You're using a red wire for a negative wire. The chance of miscrossing these wires and connecting a positive to negative, negative to positive, is greatly enhanced by mixing these colors of the conductors. And let's see what else we got here. Looking up at the very top above the cocoon of electrical tape, you see a pipe coming through. That's actually a through hole section there. It's been cut off. And that little glimmer of light in the back, the top left of that tube is actually the outside. So you have an open through hole here that's been, taken apart. It's been cut off, but it's not capped or properly secured. So that could allow water to enter into the boat. So I hope you enjoyed the Welcome to My World photo / visit of what I see every day when I'm crawling around these things. Never a dull moment, that's for sure. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, and you want to buy Captain Frank a cup of coffee, please click on the thanks button below this video. All tips received, not spent on coffee, will be used to improve my YouTube channel and create even more awesome videos.